Ladies and gents, welcome back to another video. In front of me here is a pretty colorful little package, but inside of it is something very special. This is supposed to be an open box iPhone 5S, so not sealed, but apparently this thing was never used and that means it was never updated, so it should be running iOS 7 just like these 5Cs over here. Let's get our iPhone 5S opened up, see what kind of condition it's in, and find out if this is in fact an open box iPhone 5S. Okay, here's our iPhone. It is the silver model. Obviously, this is the original box. And if we flip around to the back, this is a 16 gigabyte model, 5S Space Gray. So the top is different than the bottom of the box. Let's see what's inside. And this appears to be a silver iPhone. It's still got the plastic on it, but definitely not original. Someone has clearly taken this off and put it back on. That makes me a little bit worried. We'll set this there just for now. And inside the rest of the box are the accessories. These look like they're brand new. This cable I think is brand new. These are actually very difficult to put back in the way they were from Apple. But upon closer inspection, that may have been what happened because some of these, the cords are kind of overlapping each other. I don't think they did that when they're shipped from the factory. Here's our 5-watt power adapter. This has not been used, or it has not had the plastic removed. It's still on there. And then last but not least, we have our ear pods. These appear to have been at least taken out of the plastic at some point, but I don't think, actually I do think they were removed from the box because again, the way that cable is folded, that's not how they came from the factory. And these are actually notoriously difficult to put back in just the right way. So I'm feeling a little bit suspicious on our device. Would not be surprised if this thing has in fact been used. Let us try to power it on. You can see just how bad this is. They just really slapped that on the back. Didn't even try to line it up correctly. The one on the front, yeah, same story. You can see the gap down there at the bottom where it's not even. But let's see if this thing has any power. And it appears to be completely dead. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and peel this off. And actually, you guys will probably want to hear this. So we'll do this right in front of the microphone. And we'll do the one on the back as well. Just like that. Certainly not as satisfying as when the phone was new. Appears to be in really nice condition. No scratches or scuff marks. Maybe this is an open box iPhone. It's completely dead, so hopefully the battery is not shot. Let me plug this into power and let's see what happens. All right, we got the low battery symbol. We'll let this sit. I'd imagine this is going to take a few minutes to get enough power to turn on. Once it does, we will pick back up and see which version of iOS our iPhone 5S is running. And here it is, moment of truth as we press the home button to get this thing turned on. And I think this is going to be iOS 7. Slide to unlock with the classic iOS 7 wallpaper. Here we go. And yes, it is red music icon along with the 3 rows on the Passbook app. Just to verify, we will head into settings, general, and about. And this is even better than expected. It's on 7.1.2, but it's a 32 gig model iPhone 5S. So that is pretty sweet. Now, let me do a few things here. We're going to turn on battery percentage so we can keep track. We're also going to turn on Siri. I'm going to connect to the Wi-Fi so that we can test out a few things. Turn up the brightness. So let's get connected here and we'll be right back. All right, there we go. Now, let's see if Siri's working. What were the score of this week's MLB baseball games?
There are 59 MLB games between last Monday and today.
Okay, so Siri is working just fine, showing us our professional baseball teams here in America. And next up, we're going to test the App Store. See if that loads. It looks like it is. But are we going to get the correct content? And I'm not sure we are, at least not in the featured tab. If we click over to top charts, that does appear to be working. And this thing is so smooth. I mean, this is a buttery smooth 60 frames per second as I scroll through all of these things. And oh, that's pretty sweet. I forgot how the iOS 7 App Store looked. Pretty fantastic. You get like a little bit of a background vibe going on for some of the applications. Very cool. This thing is so fast. All right, next up, we'll try the iTunes Store. And that appears to be working as well. Pretty cool to see. So here we go, iPhone 5S. This thing launched in 2013 and changed the game for Apple. This was the world's first mobile 64-bit processor. This thing was a 1.4 gigahertz dual-core Apple A7 chip. It had an Apple M7 coprocessor, which was good for detecting motion and other things to take some of the workload away from that main CPU. We got a dual flash for the first time in an iPhone. We've got an 8 megapixel lens, which can do, I want to say, 1080p video recording as well as slow motion video. So there is the view through the lens, and we can do slow motion 120 FPS video, the first in an iPhone. We've also got ourselves a new home button down here. So this has a built-in fingerprint sensor. So if we head into settings, Touch ID, and passcode, we are able to add our fingerprint here to the iPhone 5S. Pretty cool feature, and Apple would keep this all the way up through the iPhone SE, which is still currently sold. That thing still has a Touch ID, as do many of the newest. In fact, I think all of the newest MacBooks have Touch ID, and even some of the keyboards with the new desktop Macs have it as well. Super cool device. This thing is in beautiful condition. I doubted that this was open box, but it is definitely an open box iPhone. In fact, to verify that, I'm going to connect this to my Mac, and then we're going to see how many battery cycles this iPhone 5S has on it. All right, so we've got Coconut battery open here. We're going to go ahead and connect the iPhone to the MacBook, and we're going to have to trust that device here on the iPhone, just like that. And now we're going to have to restart Coconut battery. Let me tilt the lens up for you guys. Actually, yeah, this should be fine. So we'll go ahead and X out here, and we'll open that again, and we'll tab over here to the iOS device. And I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me zoom in. We're looking at 3 battery cycles with 94% capacity, and I don't know what's up with this manufacture date. It says this iPhone is negative 135 years. This iPhone is a negative 135 days old. It was manufactured in September of 2024, so this iPhone has not even been made yet. Neither has the battery. The battery is made in August of 2024. So these devices will be built shortly. And when they are, this will be a 5S running iOS 7. So enough of that. This is definitely an open box iPhone in fantastic condition. So the iPhone 5S, as you know, launched with iOS 7, and it would get updates through iOS 8, iOS 9, 10, 11, and 12. It would be the most supported iPhone up until the iPhone 6S would take the crown there. Beautiful, beautiful device. It was the first iPhone to feature a gold color, so you got space gray, which was also a first, silver, which remained for quite some time in the iPhone lineup, and of course, gold has been around for quite some time too. This is truly a revolutionary product, and it changed the game for Apple. It was the last small flagship device that Apple made. Obviously, the 6 and the 6S were quite a bit larger, and iPhones have not looked back since increasing in screen size. This thing feels pretty tiny to hold in the hand. Now, this iPhone launched alongside the iPhone 5C, which I have here. This is a beautiful blue iPhone 5C. These look fantastic next to each other. Beautiful devices. But the 5C replaced the iPhone 5, kept all the same internals, whereas the iPhone 5S got all the big fancy upgrades. And this was a fantastic device. All right, I think that's going to do it for this video. But before we go, let's head into settings and check out those iOS 7 wallpapers. We don't get to see them that often. Here's the dynamic ones. Those were introduced for the first time in iOS 7. I really love the iOS 7 wallpapers. I think they look fantastic. This is a super clean one. I think we're going to have to go with that. It's going to complement the silver and the white iPhone edges and bezel, and everything that's going on here just looks fantastic with this wallpaper. All right, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I look forward to seeing you in another one of my videos.